me today. Let's see who's in the live chat right now. I want to say hello. Who's first in the door? Hello to AJ, Magnus. Who else? Zach. Steven's back. Zach's back. SK. Jordan's back. Awesome. Wonderful, wonderful. Glad you're all here because you know what? Today we're going to be focused on interactions. Yes, that really fun feature inside of Webflow. And more importantly, how you can use interactions to create eye-catching hover effects in Webflow. So whether you're new to Webflow interactions or looking to build along with us, get ready because we'll be touching on a combination of CSS positioning, Webflow hover interactions, and mouse movement interactions. Now, to help me teach more about, well, to help teach us more about this and the power of hovers and interactions, I'm excited to introduce to you our special guest, Aditi Desai. Welcome, Aditi.
Hi. Hey, Nelson. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, yes. Now I'm super excited to have you here because before we get to this build, I saw your YouTube channel somehow through the Twitter sphere, the Webflow Twitter community, and immediately check it out as I do with a lot of community things. And I was blown away by your tutorials. I was like, "Whoa, these are some advanced topics." And then I was like, "Who is this person?" Because you don't show your camera on the screen. You're just showing how you build things like the Rivian homepage or Cheesecake Factory homepage. I'm like, "Wow, this is really good." So I clicked on the About tab on your YouTube channel, and then I was amazed to see that you're only 13 and you're already teaching these very advanced Webflow topics. So I'm wondering, like, how did you get started with web development and Webflow?
That's a great question. I got started with web development quite a long time ago when I was around 10 years old, and it
10.
was difficult to say the least, right? Because there's a lot of like different languages that you have to learn. There's a lot of properties that you have to memorize. Just lots of things to kind of prepare you before you actually start coding and building nice looking and good looking websites. But then I discovered Webflow, and honestly, it's some of the most easiest, but also like the most powerful web design tool I've ever seen. Like it's great. And it definitely simplified web design a lot for me. I was able to do a lot more in very little time. And of course, the interactions, which are amazing.
Yeah, but 10 years old. 10. Okay, one more question before we get into your build and talk about what we're going to be doing today. Um, 10. 10 years old. I think when I was 10, I was still watching like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles back then in the day in cartoons, and I wasn't really focused on computers. But like, what was it? What was that spark that said, I want to build for the web?
Well, I didn't start out with web development. I did a lot of like Python and things to start off, which obviously right now it wasn't the best option because it's very hard. But then I was like, okay, web development should be a little bit easier, and it kind of was, and it kind of wasn't. So Webflow really made that better for me.
Amazing. And again, at 10, the only pythons I was interested in was at the zoo. But yeah, let's go into today's agenda. So just two simple things. Aditi is going to teach us how to build an advanced hoverlink interaction. And then we'll open up the floor to you, the Webflow community. And if you have any questions for Aditi or I about Webflow, web design, or want us to review your projects, yeah, this would be the time for you. So, with that being said, let's go to the advanced link hover interaction. Now, before we get into this build, just want to let you know that after the stream, we'll do our best to create a clonable project so you can all reverse engineer this and use it for your future projects. All right, so stay tuned for that. It'll be posted in the description box below. But besides that, Aditi, take it away. Teach us these advanced things.
Okay, so this is sort of what I have here. Was inspired by this one website, and I'm not going to say the name because I can't, but it's right there on the screen.
I
And
think it's
this
Chivy. Chibi.com?
Yes, Chibi, that's probably right. But yeah, I was looking through the awards page again, and I found some other like blog posts and things. And this website looked really cool, and I love the interaction. So I'm going to show you what I did to sort of recreate that here. So as you hover, sort of
Okay.
this interaction, yeah, there's a border, and there's also this sort of like it's kind of grows. So that's what we're doing. I'm just going to switch over to my Webflow tab. So with the clonable, you should already have sort of everything. Let me just explain the sort of structure
Okay.
here. So yeah, there's just like this list. That's pretty basic. There isn't a lot of styling there, but the list items you can duplicate to create like how many ever you need. Now, if we go inside here, okay, there's two main things here. So there's the heading,
Okay.
right, which contains like the text that we want to show,
Yeah.
and then the video border wrapper. Now, this contains both the video and the border, as you can tell from the class name. But here, I have 4 different border containers here, and there's a reason for that. So I have one for the top, one for the bottom, one for the left, and one for the right.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, I have the actual video inside of this wrapper here.
Okay.
To sort of explain why I didn't just use like Webflow's usual border sort of property is because the actual border doesn't give us like a chance to animate that. We can't animate that, which is
True.
why I sort of went through the trouble of duplicating this border a
I
couple
think
times.
you
And
can animate
mhm.
borders with custom CSS, but I feel like I guess with Webflow interactions, you can make it much easier, I guess, without code.
Yeah, definitely. I think with Webflow, it's definitely possible with custom code. I looked into that too, but I kind of wanted to make it a little bit easier on myself and do it this way.
Okay. All
So
right.
yeah, I just duplicated the border a couple times, and basically in the interaction, what we're going to be doing to get that sort of looping border effect, we are going to move this border wrapper, and this border container sort of stays constant in that same exact place. And then when we move the border wrapper, it creates the illusion that it's sort of like looping around the
Oh,
object
okay.
itself.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's just sort of get right into that. I'm going to select my first border up here,
All right.
go to the interactions panel, and I'm going to set a trigger for scroll into view. So
All right.
yep, start it. Okay. This is really simple. We're sort of going to use the same interactions for all of them. So we're just going to duplicate it a couple times. So
Chat, hold on. One
looping.
thing for chat. She just said this is really simple, and as a 13-year-old, I think this would have gone over my head, and like, it's just amazing. So keep going.
Okay, yeah. So this is the border animation top is what I'm going to call it. And okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to go inside this container. I'm just going to grab the wrapper itself. And so I'm going to grab it here. It's really simple. It's just, I keep saying
It's
simple.
okay. It's a
It's
relative
just,
term.
yeah. Because once you kind of figure it out for one, you kind of know
True.
how to do it for the rest. So I have the border wrapper here, and I'm going to make this an initial state one. So this is how I want it
Mm-hmm.
to start. And for the starting, I want it to be moved 0%. So this is like the initial state, nothing's being
Got it.
changed here. Then I'm going to click on this again, right? And what I want to do to get that effect of it like looping precisely and not having that sort of like cut in the middle is I'm going to have to sort of move it with percentages. So maybe I'll start off with like 10%, right?
Okay.
And I'm going to move it in a certain way so that it seems like it's just going back to how it was in the starting. So I just go back here. I'm going to have to move it the direction. So like this. Yeah, so I'm going to just move it this direction like that until it sort of reaches its initial state, which was like this. So
Okay.
now if I go back to here and I click on it, it looks about the same. So I'm going to just mess with it a little bit more, maybe make it like 25%. See if that's better. Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to click back to the initial state and see if that about matches it. And I think it does, right? There's not that big of a
Mm-hmm.
difference between the two. And I don't want this to happen like really quickly because now if I hit preview, you're gonna see that it like sort of like
Oh yeah.
just passed. So
Yeah,
I'm
because the
just
duration
yeah. So I
is
want
like
to
only 0.5.
so I want to sort of like elongate that animation. So I'll give it like maybe 3 seconds of
Okay.
duration. And then to create that looping effect, we want to kind of bring it back to its original state,
Yeah.
right? So I'm going to add one more. And this one is just going to be set back to 0%.
Okay.
And then we're going to hit, this should have a duration of 0. So it's like instant, like you don't even
Yeah.
see it. Like if you're just, unless you're like really closely observing the animation, you shouldn't be able to like see that sort of cut back to the starting.
True.
Mm-hmm. So now I'm going to hit save. And I'm just going to hit loop. And we're just see what happens.
And there we go. It's looping. And Melissa's drinking coffee.
Okay.
And I
Yeah,
see
I
Melissa's
think
in
that's
live
working
chat as
pretty.
well. So welcome, Melissa.
Yeah. And now we're basically just going to recreate this for all the other ones. So I'm going to grab the bottom, the second container, and again, same thing, scroll into view, start an animation, and I'm going to call this animation border animation bottom.
All right.
Right now, because we want the border, if we go back here, you'll notice that the border is going, the bottom one is going in a different direction than the one at the top. As you can see, the border bottom is going to the left and the border to the top is going to the right. So this is how we're going to do that. We're just going to,
So like a clockwise animation.
yes, exactly. So we're going to grab the border container and the border wrapper, right? Move it again, same principle, same idea. So set initial state, right? 0%. But this time, instead of moving it in, I think we went positive direction last time,
Yes.
right? This time I'm going to move it in the negative direction so that it moves to the left instead. So if I just slowly sort of keep going, go back and refer to my initial state to make sure that it looks somewhat there. See, okay, maybe that's too much.
Just FYI, you're getting like compliments left and right in the live chat. UX Vocab Club is saying, Aditi, you have great naming conventions for your classes. Yes, I agree.
Thank you. I personally think that I have too big of names. I think like I need to sort of figure out how to name it something more concise. But so yeah, 3 again, same thing. Should have a duration of 3, and then we'll just bring it back to its original. So 0%, duration of 0, right? Save it. And then we have to make sure to hit loop, otherwise it's just going to stop at that one point. Now let's preview and see what happens.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. I think that looks pretty good. Yeah. Now, sort of the same thing to the left and to the right. So grab the border container, scroll into view, right?
All right.
Border animation left. Right? Now, again, let's go back and see which direction it's going in. Okay, so this one's going to the top direction. And this time, we're not animating the X value, which is horizontal, right?
Yeah.
We're animating the Y value, which is like vertical. So it's this time. So border container.
All right.
Again, grab the border wrapper, move it. But again, this time we want to move the Y value. So it's going to be 0% in the Y value. That is initial state. And then if we just move it, so maybe 10% to start off, see where that.
And as the life of a web designer, especially Webflow visual developer, you work so hard on these cool interactions, and it takes you like minutes to hours, sometimes days to figure them out. And then you show it to a friend, and they're like, "Oh, cool!" in like 5 seconds.
That's it. Yeah, you don't get any like, "Oh, that's really nice. You must have spent so much time." It's just, "Oh, that was fine, I guess." You know.
But that's good enough for us.
Yes. Yeah.
It's the little
So
things
I think
that
this
count.
is definitely. But if you show it to another web developer, they're like, "Oh my god, how did you get that?"
True.
So.
We understand the hustle that it took to learn and to apply. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So again, I think this looks pretty much the same. So same thing. Move it back to 0%. And a duration of 0.
All right.
Oh, and this one should have a duration of 3. Okay. There we go. Save. And this time, instead of just previewing now, I'll do the right one, and then we can preview all of it at once.
Okay.
So scroll it to view, right? Okay, so border animation, I spelled that wrong, okay.
It's okay.
Right, and okay.
And how long did it take you to learn Webflow interactions? Would you say like a month, 2 months? I'm just doing a
Well,
survey for Webflow.
yeah, definitely. Like a month is a good thing because I think it's a good estimate. I didn't like think of the exact time, but I've been doing for Webflow for a while now, and like um, when I first started, I sort of like used a lot of other websites and tutorials, especially Webflow University. I mean, like your channel, like is actually you guys' channel is amazing. Like it's funny and it's also really helpful. So I get a laugh and I learned something. So it's great.
Yay, I'm glad. I'm glad. Thank you for taking the survey.
It's a pretty easy survey to fill out. So
All right, so we're just
okay.
doing the same thing but opposite from the left side, and we're just using the y
Mm-hmm.
axis, and that one's. I think
Yep.
that
So
one's
I
going
think I'll move
positive.
this.
Yeah, positive
Yeah,
10.
this one's going positive. Yeah, you're right. I should have. Okay. So I'll move it a little bit more because 10% isn't a lot. So maybe I can. Okay. I think that's good.
Okay.
See if it matches up to the one in the starting. Okay, a little bit more because as you can see, this one's still has a little way to go. Okay, I think that's good. Now again, change the duration
Attention to detail. Love it.
because I mean, otherwise, like it has to work at all screen sizes and other
Yes.
things. Web design is fun like that. 0% again, and duration of 0. Now, if we hit save, we go check it out.
Hooray!
Yep, I think we can do well.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to hit loop. Okay. I was wondering. Some of them stopped.
Mhm.
So let me just go back and hit loop on this one. And then same thing for this one right here. Okay. Now we have the sort of border animation
Mhm.
done. You should see that regardless of wherever you hover, first of all, of like the video border wrapper actually follows you around in a way, right? And also hover in, it sort of like scales
Yeah.
and rotates to kind of grow into
Okay.
its full size. So we're gonna do that as well. Yeah. This one, it's pretty simple. Better, it's not as tedious as doing the border wrapper. So we're just gonna grab a list
All
item
right.
and hover in. So for when I hover, we're gonna call this hover in.
All
Okay,
right.
and just gonna grab the actual border wrapper. Okay. So first thing is I want it to kind of scale, right? But for that, we need to set like initial states and such. So set is initial state and then 0, right? And then I also, if you notice, it's sort of like it doesn't scale like straight up. It scales sort of like tilted to the side. So we'll rotate it just a little bit just to also get that effect.
All right. Just add that extra little bit of flavor to the
Yeah,
animation.
yeah. And then I'm just going to scale it up. So 1, and do the same thing for the rotation. There. So now if I sort of save that and preview it. Okay, great.
Nice.
Yes. And now the sort of last thing that I want to do is if I just grab this. Oh, no, the list item. Okay. When I hover out, I want that to sort of go away and come back in when I hover back in. So I'm going to call that list item hover out. And we're just going to undo whatever we did. So we're going to grab the video border wrapper, scale it back down to 0, and then rotate it also to 20 degrees. So that's our initial state, if you remember that.
Yeah.
It's just so that, yep, exactly.
Mhm.
So we're almost done. We just have one thing left, and that's the sort of effect that no matter where you sort of hover in, it sort of shows up there. So that's how we're
So it's
going to do that.
following your
For
mouse.
that, this Yes, exactly. And when I first looked at this on my inspiration site, I was sort of like really confused with how to do it because I it looked complicated, but it really isn't, especially with Webflow, because all you really need to do is just grab the list item, right? Mouse move over element. So this is sort of like a way for you to where Nelson, can I have some help with
Oh
trying to
yeah,
describe it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mouse move is just basically it. Whenever you're over an element, it'll track the X and Y position of the mouse while it's inside of an element that you add the trigger to.
Hmm.
So then that corresponds with this visual UI that you're adding steps to or things. Yeah.
You did a better job than I did. It's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, a
Um,
little
so I'm
bit better.
so I'm just gonna grab the video border. Once I could sort of like show what we're doing, it'll make more sense.
Mm-hmm.
So grab the video border. Again, really simple. So I'm just gonna, what I wanna do is if I hover all the way to the end here, I want the video border wrapper to also move almost all the way to the end there.
Yeah.
And if I hover all the way to the end of this side,
Mm-hmm.
right, then I also want the video border wrapper to move there.
Yes.
So that's sort of like the effect that we're going for. So I've grabbed it and I'm just gonna move it negative 90% to the left when I have my mouse over here. And then I'm just gonna move it 90% to the right when I have my mouse over here.
Yes.
That way it's like almost to the end, but not fully. And we're gonna basically do the same thing for the up and down action. So like if I move my mouse up here, it's moving a little bit up. If I move it down, it's moving a little bit down. So move.
Okay.
This time with the Y, I'll move it just a little bit actually. So like negative 20% and positive 20%. Okay. So now if we hit save
All right.
and if we go and preview our page, we should have everything ready. So
Here we go.
as I sort of hover, it comes up. No matter where I move my mouse, it's moving with me.
Amazing. As like you said, it's simple, right? It's
Yeah.
after the fact, and um, that's amazing. And the comments just keep rolling in. Melissa Mendez is here, and she says, "I can't even pay attention because I'm fangirling so hard. She's so eloquent." You have a fan UX vocab club, eloquent and
Mhm.
fast. It's like she's playing Webflow like an instrument, beautiful to watch and listen to, like Mozart. Um, Brianna in chat is clapping for you. Yeah, you have a lot of fans now. Maria's giving you a heart. Uh, yes, yes. McGuire's here, and he says, "Aditi, this is fantastic. Love this animation you're building. I do too. I can't wait to clone this and use it for." Future projects, maybe even I don't know my portfolio site or something. Because oh man, it's simple. Amazing work. Yeah, let's just get straight into the questions and site reviews.
Mhm.
Because I think there's a lot of questions in queue, but let's get to it. Here we go. First one is Zach. Zach, his question. There it is. What was the very first website you ever built, and how old were you? Thanks, Aditi.
Okay, so that's a great question. If we're talking about Webflow, I remember very clearly, but if we're talking about like full web development, I don't remember because again, it was so long ago. I wish had some sort of record of it, but I don't know. But for I did a lot of like Udemy courses and stuff with web development, so I don't even know if anything I did was my own thing. But with Webflow, I found this like really amazing website. I don't remember the name, but I it was like some sort of like pancake recipe website, and it
Okay.
was great. Like it had a lot of like Lottie animations and stuff, and I had no idea what I was doing, but I figured it out and I rebuilt that website. And yeah, that was my first ever Webflow project.
Pancake website. Yeah, that seems flavorful. Not I'm trying for a dad joke. No, I don't think it worked. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone in live chat. I'm sorry, Aditi.
Isn't that what a dad joke is though? It tries and then it doesn't really work.
Yeah. Yeah, true, true. All right. Next question from the Floxies community. It is incredibly inspiring to see a girl at such a young age to be challenging all the barriers out there and to be embracing all the opportunities available to her. We're also proud of you, Aditi. What was, if any, a challenge that you faced while learning Webflow?
Well, first of all, I really want to thank the Floxies community. I'm not like an active participant, but I am in their Discord server, and it's absolutely amazing to see so many people who that I can really connect with. You know, they're starting out with Webflow, and like all the challenges they face and the amazing stuff that they put out. Like I think that community is a great one to be in. So I'm really thankful, and I am really thankful to Floxies community. But to answer that kind of
Yeah.
question, of what a challenge was. I think there's a I think it came easier for me Webflow because of sort of like I already knew programming, but when I came to interactions, like starting out was a bit intimidating, especially
Yeah.
for me because again, and when you're coding websites, like we I never really got to that interaction stage.
Yeah.
So it was hard to sort of start doing it in Webflow. But once I figured it out, like I mean, the possibilities are endless. So
What was that? You know, when you learn something and then it just clicks in your head? Do you
uh-huh.
remember that moment that it just clicked and you're
Uh
like, oh, this does this?
I think again, it was watching lots and lots of tutorials because I sort of like from the starting I knew that I wouldn't be able to figure this out on my own because there were just again like too many things for me to deal with. So I found lots of YouTube tutorials, and I think like what I don't remember the exact channel, but when you find like one person that really explains it in the way that you understand it too, I
Yeah.
think that's like when it really clicked, and that's what I hope to do with like my channel, right? I want to provide like some sort of like a new perspective and help people like again get that like aha moment. So
My heart. Oh my gosh. All these words. You have so many fans here, and I am a huge fan of yours as well. Oh, these words. All right. Next question from Samita. Sorry if I get your name wrong. Smita. This person says, "Awesome, Aditi. When are we going to get more live stream videos from Aditi like this?" Nelson, shout out her channel again. Yes, I will shout it out. I was going to shout it out anyways. YouTube.com/protein underscore me. And Matthew, if you can add that to the live chat whenever you can, thank you so much. But yeah, I guess that's how I started with my YouTube channel too, was just um I just want to build and I want to recreate what's already out there. And I see you doing this for Rivian cheesecake. And I think what's your latest tutorial video on?
it was on this one website called I Killed a Cactus. Again, I found it on the awards page, and I was just so blown away. So
Yeah, it's just amazing that you can take that as inspiration and then recreate it, and then the the most important part, which I think everyone should do, is teach, and that's what you're doing because you learn so much when you're actually teaching. Which, yeah, it's a nice feedback loop. But yeah, let's go to the next one. Okay, this is a review. Okay, so Jordan is saying, "Hi, thanks for reviewing my site. This is my personal portfolio website. I haven't finished it completely yet, but I would love your feedback. This is only the second website I've made in Webflow, but I have completely fallen in love with the platform. If you have the time to answer a quick question, the button in the hero section is supposed to move up a little. It works in preview. I have some custom code, so you might want to look at the live site. Okay, so let's just review this. And for like the live support, we can hold that to the next live support hour. But let's see here. Can you see my screen, Aditi?
yes, I can see your screen. 1 second. There.
Okay. All right. So what is your okay, there's interactions here, so I'm gonna keep refreshing. What is your thoughts on
Uh-huh.
this interaction right here?
First of all, that interaction is great. I think like especially with the portfolio page, it's like important to kind of draw people in with that first sort of like hero, and that's exactly what you've done. Like that's amazing. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I like it. One thing I would suggest, maybe the word is should be on the next line or something, because like it's your photo is getting inside of here, I mean, like
Mhm.
it's really close to the word is. But
Mhm.
yeah, let's keep scrolling down. And this is only your second site, and you're already using what I see is page load interactions,
Mhm.
2D transforms, and also mouse movement interactions. This is nice.
Yeah, especially for the second website, like, this was not where I was when I was building my second one, so this is great.
Scrolling interaction right here.
Wow, that's actually really nice, yeah.
Okay. A scrolling interaction with.
With the sliders were always really hard for me to figure out. I can't believe you did wow, like, sliders have always been something that I needed a little bit help with, and wow, this is great.
Keep going with this. Oh, happy face.
Mhm.
Hello, Jordan. Great job. Nice. Keep going with it. Love to see more progress. All right, come back to the next stream and show us
Mhm.
progress, okay? Good job, Jordan. Yeah. So again, if you have any questions or want us to review your site, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. My next question. Now for people, for teenagers,
Mhm.
young adults, what would you suggest is the best way for them to get into Webflow? Like, you say that you're trying to inspire other teenagers. Like, how would you suggest they start learning Webflow?
I think okay. I think the first thing, especially with stuff like coding and Webflow, right? There this applies to everything, but I think especially for teenagers, like you need to have like some sort of interest for it because I know like a lot of my friends have parents who sort of like force them to do coding and stuff, and like
Oh,
that sort of like mindset doesn't sit well because obviously nobody wants to do something that their parent is forcing them to,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I think with me, I sort of like my dad did introduce it to me, right? But then after that, I sort of developed like this liking towards it. So it's important to have that liking. But once you do it, I mean, I think with Webflow, the way that I got excited about it was like to really see the capability of it. Like seeing those amazing like websites that people have built, like inspires you because you're like, oh, if people can do it, then why can't I? You know? So it's like
Yes.
that part's great, especially for teenagers, because we're always trying to prove ourselves. So it's great. Like,
I guess
yep.
that's how I got into web design too, because back in my day we had geocities and like I would see my friend's geocities page and I'm like, ooh, how'd you do that? I want to do that, and I want to make a better web page than you. And then he would make something better, I would make something
Mhm.
better. And I still remember the days where you had a web counter. You can see how many people have been to your page when easily you can just press refresh on your browser. But um yeah, just being inspired to go even further and say, if you did that, I want to do that too. And I think that's have you used clonables in Webflow?
I haven't used clonables, but like I regularly when I for example when I have questions, I go on the forums a lot and I see a lot of like read-only links, right? And when I look through those, when people like ask their questions and stuff, even though I'm looking for an answer, I find other like really cool things. So when I go into the read-only link and I sort of like see how it's structured, instead of trying to use a clonable, I try to like recreate it myself just to see if maybe that's possible. And if it's not, then I will clone it. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, see, like, yeah, we're all trying to get better and learn from each other. And yeah, the clonables, how you can reverse engineer or even take them into your own account
Hmm.
is really wonderful. Another question that I have, so uh what made you actually, sorry, so what made you go from I love building websites to I want to teach other people to build? Like, it's not easy to be in front of a camera. I mean, like this, in front of
Hmm.
the Webflow community. It's not easy to start a YouTube channel and say, okay, I'm going to start teaching. Like, what was that spark? What made you say, I'm opening up a YouTube channel and I'm going to teach these advanced techniques?
I think it was more because I'd been doing web design for a while, right?
Hmm.
And the sort of goal was if I'm doing it, like, and I get so much help by people I see online, and I get like all this sort of instructions and all these guides and stuff. Why can't I be that sort of source of information for somebody? Like, why can't I sort of give them what I've been kind of wanting in terms of like, oh, I want to make this really cool website, but I'm not sure where to start. And then if I, watch a YouTube video of mine, then maybe if I was another teenager, I'd sort of feel inspired to do the same. So things like that.
That is beautiful to hear. The whole mindset already that you have of passing the favor forward, teaching the next generation. My heart, again, wow. That's the vibe I always try to inspire others to go forward with, and you're already doing it at such a young age. Keep going with that. Um is there any other plans for you for your YouTube channel? Like, are you planning on scaling it up? Like what is your next step for your channel?
I do have some plans of scaling it up, and I've been working on this video for a while now, and it should come out relatively soon. So I'm excited for that. And I think I want to not that Webflow is bad or web design is bad by any means, but I want to sort of branch out from that as well, like teach people. Because it's not just like web design that I know, right? And
Yeah.
I think a lot of teens want to learn web design and more. So I have other like sorts of videos planned in mind for like not web design related topics too. So yeah,
Sounds like you're gonna have a busy summer break.
definitely, yeah.
Yeah, but it's gonna be fun. Okay. Uh Tino has a website he wants us to review. He didn't
Hmm.
leave any comments, just his link. So let me see here. Let me pull it up on my screen. Okay, Tino. All right. Before I give my first time user experience feedback, you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I love the design. Like I've recently like been really into this like simple, clean, minimalistic look, and that's exactly what this is. So I think it looks great. Yeah, for my first impressions, it looks really good.
Yeah, my first impression is yes, love the colors, love
Hmm.
the pills, the text with the pills, and this mouse movement interaction. Um, yeah, I'm gonna scroll down. Okay, so that's it.
Hmm.
Built with love, coffee, and Webflow. Yes, yes, I feel you there. Let's go to works. Okay, so
The,
this is a case studies almost finished. Stay tuned. Okay, no
mhm.
worries, no worries. Experiments.
It's still nice though. I like that like it's still there and that you sort of have that like, oh, stay tuned part. I think that's like a good thing for people to come back and like check in on later.
Yeah,
It's a good.
I like the shape. I'm a fan of
Yeah,
the shape.
I like the fonts too. I think this is a very like modern looking website and it sort of stays in tune to sort of web design trends right now. So,
Yeah.
looks good.
Wait, he was on he has an article on all of these, or he writes.
Wow.
Oh, that's interesting. All right. And contact. Yeah, this is a beautiful, simple website. I mean,
Yeah,
it
I
takes a long time to make something simple.
you
So
definitely. Yeah.
yes.
But
All right. Next one is from Kalon. Again, sorry if I mispronounced your name. Caelon. First audio player powered by CMS using Webflow and attributes. What? Are we going to be replacing Spotify? What's going on? Whoa, Uplift. Okay. Okay. Is this Lottie? Okay,
mhm.
this.
That's cool, yeah.
Wait, it's not Lottie. I can select the text.
Wait, what?
I think it's Typer. I've used a JavaScript thing called Typer.js.
Oh, yeah, yeah, the
So,
library, yeah. Mhm.
yeah. Okay, this is nice. It's totally a Spotify vibe.
Mhm.
That's cool. I gotta check this out. You
Yeah,
can
I
clone
have
it.
to.
It's clonable.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Right after this, are you gonna go in and try to clone this or look at the
Yeah, I'm gonna try to look at it, yeah. Definitely.
truemediaplayer.webflow.io? I need to see how this happens.
Mhm.
I don't want to play any audio just in case of, I don't know, like copyrighted music, but I will definitely look into this more. There are docs. Okay. Oh wait, it's not ready yet. I tried to click on it. All right. All right, let's go to I see a question from Stacy. She's asking, what are some big projects you're working on that you are excited about?
Okay, so this is sort of a little sneak peek to something that's going to be coming out soon.
Yeah.
Um, but so I have this one project set up where I'm basically going to be comparing Webflow, another pretty popular no code, low code platform, and code, and see which one I think the pros and cons of each one and see which one works best. So that's something coming out soon.
Okay. Okay, an honest comparison review. I would love to see it because like there's to me there's no such thing as the perfect tool for
Hmm.
every single use case in the world. That is never going to happen.
Definitely.
Um uh but yeah, I would love to see which one gets close, which
Hmm.
one makes it to the top of your list, but yeah, so my next question right here. Where is it? Where is it? I had to write it down because I had so many questions for you.
Hmm.
Um, nope, nope, nope. Oh yeah. So, do you have any dreams to build your own startup? If so, what would be your goals for it?
Okay, that's a great question. Definitely sometime in the future, that's, like, something that I've had in mind for, like, as long as I s from when I started doing tech, like, I think that was my, like, big goal and has been for a long time. I can't tell you what it's gonna be about yet because I have no idea, but when I think
Yes,
of an
because
idea.
everyone would have to write sign an NDA. Everyone
Yes,
watching.
definitely. I can't, it's too much paperwork, so yeah, but I don't know yet, and we'll see how it goes, but definitely, like, I think, definitely something geared towards teens because when we're thinking of technology, we don't really think of teenagers. We don't really think of young people, and I think that's, like, a sort of misconception that people shouldn't have anymore. Because yeah, so I definitely something that I wanna target with my startup then.
Wow, wow. Again, when I was 13, these thoughts of a startup never came to me, and the fact that you already you're so well spoken and you already have dreams for a startup. Keep going. You have the whole Webflow community to back you up, support you, throw you love. Like, wow, wow, that's amazing. Keep going. uh we have another link from Oleinka, Olayinka. Greetings from the Nigeria. I just decided to make it simple. I tried the dark mode transition and others. Okay, let's check out what you've built. Gonna load it. Okay, nice and clean.
Mhm.
Nice and clean. Love it. But that's not what she wants us to look at. She wants us to look at the dark mode transition. So let's see here. Oh,
Oh.
oh, that's a lot of interactions happening.
Yeah, that must have taken a long time, because I know I tried to do dark mode once, and it just did not work very well, but that was great,
A
yeah.
lot of color switching that you have to do on so
Mhm.
many elements. I respect that.
Yeah, that takes a lot of time, definitely.
Oh wow. Only one thing I see, there's a delay here, so maybe you can have this transition at the same time as the other elements.
Mhm.
Because yeah, see, at first you don't see it unless that's on purpose because it draws your eye to the button.
That might be, yeah, that's true too, definitely.
Okay, it's a single page with a
Mhm.
in-page link. Cool. Well, keep going. A link. Oleinka. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. But okay. All right. We have one more question from the Floxy's community.
Mhm.
Uh, Aditi, have you tried asking your teachers to include Webflow development in the school curriculum?
That's okay. This is also one of my sort of like big projects ideas that I have planned for the future.
Uh
But
huh.
once I have built up a big enough following, I'm gonna try to convince maybe my principal in my school to let me at least try something maybe over the summer, some sort of program. But yeah, that's another big goal for now. So.
That is a wonderful goal, and I remember back in my high school day, um, there was no group, there was no school group or activity or extracurricular activity where people can join and make websites. It wasn't even a thing. Only three computers at the time had the internet, and you would be lucky if you got to play with those. Um, but the fact that you are starting this is amazing. Yeah. Floxy is saying you can use the Floxy school for it. Yeah, so yeah, you have a lot of people who wanna help you out.
Mhm.
Teresa is asking, what's your advice for people your age who feel scared to try new things like web design?
I think, okay, so I also, when starting out, I think a big problem that I have is that I sort of like undermine myself over and over again. I tell myself that, hey, I'm not that good enough. And I think that's a big problem with teenagers, right? We have a lot of self esteem issues. So I think the biggest thing is to, like everybody says, just try it out because. Like, I mean, what are you going to lose, right? Especially with something like web design, everybody has access to it. You have an email address, you sign up, and then just try building it. And if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. But if it does, then you've kind of opened this door to a world of new possibilities. So I think especially just give it a shot.
Yeah, yeah. And just to let you know that it comes down to the fear of failing,
Hmm.
and with web design and a lot of technology type of learning, it's okay to fail. And it's not just teenagers who feel that self-doubt and self-esteem issues, it's also adults. I There are times when I go on this stream, Aditi,
Hmm.
that I'm like, yeah, it's not today. I don't feel like myself. I don't. Yeah, it's the whole imposter syndrome. There it is.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I feel like that imposter syndrome could be a good thing, because if you always feel so sure about yourself, then you're not going to really try hard. But if there's always this small, just little small, tiny feeling of you're not good enough, and you want to challenge that and say, no, I'm good enough. I'm going to learn. I'm going to fail and learn, fail and learn. So you're failing upwards to get to that goal. Um, that's the mindset that not just teenagers, but everyone, including everyone in the live chat, feel.
I think
And
that's a sorry, yeah, I think
no,
that's
go ahead.
a great way to think. I feel like that's definitely gonna give me like a different thing to think of when I sort of start try to put myself down. But that's a, like you put it into really good words. That's amazing. Yeah.
I mean, I'm here to help, and I lived through it so many times. But yeah, thank you. That's all the time we have for questions and links. Thank you to everyone who submitted their link, their website, and their question. You all are wonderful. But Aditi, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing with us this advanced hover link technique. But before I let you go, is there anything else you'd like to say to the live chat in the community?
No, that's pretty much it. Yep.
All right. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And we'll see you around in the community.
Yep. Thank you. Bye.
All right. So, everyone in live chat, thank you so much for being here. Or if you're watching live or you're watching a recording of this, we appreciate each and every one of you. And again, don't forget to subscribe to Aditi's channel. Search for Protein on YouTube, and we'll have a link in the description box below. And Matthew, if you can please post that in the live chat one more time so everyone could subscribe now. And if you were here last week, we did a live support hour, and we still had 6 websites that were still in the backlog for us to review. So don't worry, we still have those noted, and we'll review those in the next live support hour next month. As far as the next stream next Thursday on June 30th, we are going to show you what you can build with memberships beta. Yes, we're going to show you some of the roadmap that's leading up to no code. And yeah, I'm excited about it, and I can't wait for you all to see it. So you're not going to want to miss it. Again, June 30th, that's a Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. And that's it for this stream. Thank you all so, so much. And we'll see you next time. And as always, make the web beautiful together. See ya.